Welcome everyone to the Follow D Money podcast. This week's guest, very interesting, very cool dude. A lot of clout around the Indianapolis night scene, Mr. Jason Jenkins.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yes, sir. Thanks for coming. First of all, I would like for you to introduce yourself to those who are listening that don't know who you are. Like, what do you do? Where you come from?
Okay. Jason Jenkins. I'm from Indianapolis. Went to Ben Davis High School.
Yep.
Been in the nightclub industry for a while, over 15 years.
Yep.
So newest project, we have Envy nightclub downtown.
Yep.
And right next door to that, we have Tiki Bob's.
Uh-huh.
And across the street, we have the Pavilion at Pan Am.
Yep.
So we produce concerts and food festivals and corporate events.
So what in your background, coming from Ben Davis, made you want to go into this industry?
My first job was at the Knights of Columbus on the west side.
Yeah.
15 years old, washing dishes, sweeping after parties,
Yep.
setting up tables, chairs.
Yep.
So I've been doing it for a long time and started as a wedding DJ right after that.
Okay. You a DJ?
A lot of people didn't know that. Not a very good DJ.
What was your DJ name?
We're just wedding DJ. Well, actually, the company was called DJ's Direct,
Okay.
and my best friend at the time still has the company today.
Oh, okay.
So he's a
Sweet.
very successful
Good.
wedding DJ.
Good. That's what's up.
Yep. So that's kind of how I got into it, and then went into the mortgage industry for a long time and bought a bar on the west side called the Rockville Tavern,
Mm-hmm.
right at Rockville Road and 465, and that was our first bar.
Yep.
And we kind of did that for fun as an investment, and then mortgage industry took a dip there in 2008,
Yeah.
and so I was left with the bars. No more mortgage company.
Dang. That's what happened.
That's what happened.
Wow.
Yep.
And the bars stayed around,
Yes.
and they survived all the mortgage stuff.
It was tough. I mean, they say alcohol's recession proof, but not necessarily a nightclub or a bar.
Right. Right.
So,
Right. And then, the past 2 years had to be hell for your
Yes.
industry. Yeah. So
yep.
I remember it was one night I was out and you and I got into a conversation about how you were trying to manage through COVID.
Mhm.
Can you talk about that at all? Like how you
Yep.
decided to kind of take the reins of the nightclub industry during the pandemic and all the shutdown and all that stuff?
Yeah, it was tough. I mean, we pushed the envelope as far as we could, but also trying to keep people safe.
Yep.
So it was difficult. Seemed like every month there was new restrictions, new guidelines. So we
Yep.
had to really, analyze and dive into those and figure out what we could do to
Yep.
follow the rules and still function and operate. So
Yeah. And how did you kind of guide or get your staff, yourself around the guidelines? How did you manage to work around it?
I mean, it was the most difficult thing. We had to read every single line, almost find a loophole
Yeah.
to what's missed in that guideline that can help us open our doors. It
Yep.
was almost impossible for a bar or nightclub that didn't have sit-down food service to even operate.
Yeah.
So we brought in more furniture to both nightclubs. The rules for a while, you couldn't even stand up in a bar
Wow.
unless you were at your table. So that's
Dang.
kind of tough to do in a
I
nightclub.
didn't know that was one of the rules.
So that's why we brought in more furniture, more sections. As long as people were in their section and
Yep.
they're at their table, they could stand up.
Dang. That's
So
wild.
no dance floors.
And then it was a time restriction, I think.
Hmm.
Right.
Yep. And then there was some gray area around live music venues there for a while. So live music venues could stay open
Yep.
past 12, while bars and nightclubs could not. So Envy was designated as a music venue, so
Yeah.
it stayed open. And then a lot of the other bars around town would see that, and most of the complaints came from other bars, like, why do they get to stay open and we don't?
Right.
So it was difficult.
Yeah. They didn't know they didn't know the rules.
Right.
Yeah. So
Right.
Like
But
knew
you
the
couldn't
rules.
necessarily pivot either. So
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. What is it that you think? I think, in my opinion, like Envy is one of a kind in the city of Indy. Envy would be probably our only like high-end nightclub, right? And what do you think it would take for another one to come out and be as successful as you guys?
I think it's certainly possible. It's just it's all about the detail and the customer service, and there was a couple things that came out of COVID that actually kind of helped us. Because you had to have those tables, we pushed everybody to the website.
Yep.
Reserve your table, get your section, and that help kind of change the culture a little bit instead of everyone just calling and texting, hey, I need a table at the last minute.
Yep.
Really driving people to that has helped us out. And
like social media is really important in your industry.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And probably promotion as well.
Yep. Absolutely.
So how do you guys decide who promotes what social media you use? Like, how do you guys work about that?
We've got a small team, someone creating content, someone pushing it out, a lot of Instagram, Facebook. And so we're still getting into other, forms of it now, trying to figure that out and get out there a little bit. I mean, the day that Facebook and Instagram crashed recently, we're like, oh man, what do we do? So after that happened, now we're looking for other things.
What is it that you think Indy is missing? Indianapolis, like what are we missing?
We're missing kind of an over the top rooftop bar.
Yeah. Like Fountain Square has a decent one.
Yeah, but one above Envy would be even better.
It would. Is it possible?
That's possible.
Yeah. Is that something you're thinking about?
It's in the pipeline.
That's what's up. How involved are you with the Pavilion? You guys do so many different things there, and so many different events happen there. How involved are you with choosing what is allowed to go there?
Very involved. So there's three of us, and Sabronica, which Sabronica.
Yep.
I don't know if she's been on your podcast, but
she has not. But she would be a good guest.
She needs to be next.
Yeah, she would be a great guest.
She's amazing.
Yes, she is.
So she fields a lot of the sales calls, and then and then after that we all just kind of discuss and So we get our target is always the corporate customer, which a lot of people don't even hear about those events. So that's your Wednesday, Thursday night corporate gala for 1,000 people, whatever. So that's really our core business.
Yep.
So.
And what's next for Jason Jenkins?
I'm getting back into just real estate, a little bit of commercial real estate, not residential, and so not very many projects, but just little stuff. And then I'm into crypto a lot.
Okay.
So really been into that for a while.
Good.
And
that's pretty big.
Yeah.
Nowadays, and I mean, it's like a roller coaster. But I mean, as long as you're on it, I think it's very profitable for a lot of people. Yeah.
I'm getting into the mining of it right now. So
I've just heard about that.
Yep.
You're a miner. You're a crypto miner.
Yep.
All right. I need to learn some of that.
Yep.
What are you passionate about? What other than the easy answer would be family. A lot of people say family, but other than that, what drives Jason?
I don't know. I mean, my wife tells me I jump around too much, but that's part of it. I think I just like to, do something, build it, and then I'm like, oh, now I'm over here, now I'm doing that, now I'm doing that. So that's what kind of gets me, I think. Are
you a night person? Like sometimes we'll see you out and you'll be there, you'll be right in the mix of things, but is that you? Do you like to be out in the nightlife?
Not all the time, but so I mean Monday through Friday I'm up and at 'em all day long, work 10-hour days, and then kind of it shifts on the weekends.
Right. Okay.
So
you do like to party?
Yep.
Do you like what kind of music you like?
Everything really.
Yeah. All music.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, you guys play everything at MV, and I mean Tiki's everything, and all right.
Yep. I love it all.
When you go out downtown, what is your favorite restaurant? What's the favorite restaurant you like to go to?
I mean, this weekend I was at Prime. I like Prime a lot.
Yeah.
A new one we just went to, but it's been around for a while. But Bodie on Mass.
Okay.
That was
Bodie.
Unreal. It's Thai.
Never been there. Yeah.
So good.
Really?
I was blown away.
I'm gonna try it out. Well, I asked you that question just because this season, we're sponsored by the Sit With Me app.
Okay.
And if you have a server that you like, this app allows you to figure out when this server works.
Oh.
And you can look on this app and it says like she can upload or he can upload his schedule, and you can find out when they work, or you can see
where they work.
Yeah,
okay.
And where they work and all that stuff. And is that like how do you think that will change the restaurant industry?
Hopefully a lot.
It allows them to market themselves.
Absolutely.
It's kind of like a social media for the restaurant industry.
It reminds me of the old days when before social media, all your waitresses and they were on their own phones texting people,
right,
booking their own sections,
right. And this way they don't have to use their personal information at all. They don't have to use their phone number. They don't have to They don't have to text people or give them their Instagram or Facebook. They have this app that allows them to show people when they work,
Mm-hmm.
when they're available, which is, I think, is pretty dope concept.
I think it's really for the customer that you don't have that personal relationship. All they know is your name tag.
Right.
That's
Right.
That's where it's really.
Yep. And
Really
then
good.
you're allowed to like tip as well.
Mm-hmm. Oh, through the app
Yeah.
separately.
Yep. That's pretty.
That's interesting.
Yeah. I think it's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
What works for you, like when you're getting people to work for you? Like staff is very important. They represent you when you're not
Mhm.
around.
Yep.
What do you look for? What are your hiring process? What's your hiring practice?
I personally don't do too many interviews anymore, but I still enjoy doing them. I just like to hear them talk and
Yeah.
figure out what makes them tick. I
Yep.
really want to make sure, are they just here because they need to make a quick buck, or they want to. Basically, I don't want them there that long anyway. We're most places we're all part time.
Yeah.
I want to hear that they're in college. I want to hear that they have something else going on.
Okay.
I'm not your full time job,
Okay.
but you can make a lot of money
While you're here.
while you're here in a really short amount of time. That's going to help you get to where you're trying to go.
Right. But I mean, a lot of people can use that avenue as a money maker.
Absolutely.
I mean, you can actually probably have a full-time job and still work there.
Some of them do. I just want them to. I don't want them sitting on the couch 5 days either. They
Right.
need to have something going on.
Right.
That's what I look for.
Because then that translates into when they come to your job,
Mhm.
like coming to your spot. Like
Right.
you don't want a lazy person coming in.
Absolutely.
Haven't done anything all week and not motivated, and they
Mhm.
come there and that's all. I get it.
And then even if whatever they're working on, they finish that, and then they do that for a while. Those are the same people that come back sometimes and say, "Hey, I've got this going on. I think I could pick up a few shifts." And
Yeah.
absolutely,
Right.
you know.
Do you consider yourself successful?
I mean, I assume so. I think so.
Yeah. Well,
I don't think of it like that. But,
how would you define success?
when I don't have to work so hard. So,
But you seem like you'll work no matter what though.
true.
Like
Yeah, I'm like a serial entrepreneur.
yeah. So let's dive into what you would say is your definition of success.
Man, that's a tough one. I just honestly, I never really think
Like
about it
yeah,
like
just
that.
think about look at it, look at you, and you can say yes, I'm successful because, or I will consider myself successful when, or I became successful when. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like so.
Absolutely.
Let's see what you think.
All right. So let's say now I'm successful now because, I feel like I've got 3 places that are successful and great team,
Yep.
Great management, great partners. I feel like, we take care of all of our employees as best we can, and
Yep.
people are happy. And usually when someone, gets fired, it's not because I did it.
Yeah.
It's because you did it.
Yeah, you gave them enough rope.
Right.
Yeah.
So, and usually they come back later and like, oh, I'm sorry.
Right.
So I don't mean that's a good measure of success. I think that means we're treating everybody fairly and
Okay.
giving everybody the best opportunity we can give them. And
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that I think success, in my opinion, has a lot to do with how many people become successful from you.
Right.
How many people you uplift
Mhm.
into the level of success.
Right.
And I think success shouldn't be an individual trait.
Mm-hmm.
Success it's like that it takes a village term.
Right.
You know what I mean? So
Right.
when you become successful, how many people are you allowed to bring up? That's when your success
great.
starts to begin.
Yeah.
To me. Okay. I'm gonna ask it. Vax or anti-vax? What's your opinion? And I want to know either or. Why do you feel that way?
No, I'm definitely not anti-vax. I just don't think everyone needs vaxxed.
Okay.
So I believe in your own immune system. I mean, I'm older than a lot of people that work for me.
Yeah.
When we were young, you get the chicken pox. We had a chicken pox party.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's what happened when I was young too. Like my parents would take me to you get the mumps. You go get the mumps. Like you go to the
Right.
thing. Everybody gets it. You develop the anti-venom or whatever, and then
Right.
you don't get it, and then that's what
Mhm.
happened. Yeah.
So I've had COVID, at least once I know of, and it wasn't bad. And but I'm definitely not anti-vax. I think it was designed for certain people. It wasn't
Yeah.
designed for the whole public, and I just
Yeah.
don't feel like young healthy people need to get it.
Yeah.
That's just my opinion.
And that's a valid point.
Yep.
I just was talking about perspectives, and you only have that. Your perspective is your experience, and we cannot deny that. And the only reason why I'm pro-vax, but I'm not anti-vax or pro-anti. Like,
Right.
I wanted to get the vaccine because I got COVID and got extremely sick.
Right.
And
Right.
and if that happened again, I would be a dummy if I allowed it to happen.
Yep.
So for me, I think I need to be vaccinated. I don't know. I don't want to die of COVID.
Yep.
It's your choice to not have it. And that's how I feel about it.
And I've got friends the same way. They got the swine flu and they got really, really sick.
Yeah.
Or they got this before and they got really, really sick. They were the first ones to get it.
Yeah.
And I go, absolutely, you should get it.
Right.
So, but there's just a lot we don't know about it. I feel like they just aren't telling us everything. But I'm not trying to be conspiracy about it.
I don't think we know everything about anything.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And
but why did you get sicker than I get? That's why I want to
I
know.
don't know.
Is it your blood type? Is it your DNA? Is it what is it? Like why some people get sick and other people are just absolutely fine or asymptomatic?
But we also with that, we have to be able to accept that when we learn more, to accept it.
Right.
You know, like
Right.
I think we're in a time now where people decide, well, I don't believe that.
Right.
You know, like you asked me, you said maybe it's your blood type. Maybe your blood type is worse and you get sicker. So when they say, yes, so you have these blood types that get more sick, then you should take that
Absolutely.
advice.
I want to hear that.
Oh, man. So who do you see as competition? Do you have competition in your industry?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, especially when you're in a bar district, if you're on Mass Ave or in the wholesale district but it also, anyone that sells alcohol in that block is technically competition, but also that creates symmetry, and that's why everyone's down there to begin with. So competition. I love Patron Saint. They're my competitors, but I'm also going to support them. And you got to go back and forth.
So it's not a cutthroat industry.
Right.
But
some people treat it that way, but it shouldn't be that way.
It's competitive.
It's all about supporting everyone,
right?
And supporting just enough.
Yeah, right. You want them in your bar, but if
Right.
they're not in your bar, go ahead and enjoy this one. Yeah,
Exactly.
And Patron Saint is also friends of the podcast, so it's like you guys are on. They're on and I really love the Meridian Street vibe.
Yep.
Because you can just bounce from here to there to there, and it's a great thing. And I think that camaraderie shows in the nightclub industry.
Yep.
And I think it should stay there.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I built that bar out when it was Subterra Lounge. That was my
second
place.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yep.
Dang. And then they bought it as Subterra, right?
Yeah, they got it from me, and I had to push them. I'm like, because Brandy had Social, and then Slater, and John, that they weren't part of Social, but they all worked together anyway. And I was like, man, you guys just need to get this, because I had too many things going on, and
you would have had the whole damn fucking corner.
And I knew they were going to crush it down there, and
they're killing it.
They doubled my sales, so I knew they would.
Good, yeah. No, they have a really good concept down there, and I love that spot. If somebody's coming from out of town, coming to Indianapolis, and they need something to do, can you walk us through how you would describe getting to Indy and spending the day until the nighttime in Indy?
Absolutely. Let's see. During the day, excuse me. There's lots of options during the day. Just walking around and soak it all in. I mean, it's a beautiful city during the day.
Yeah.
We bring in these DJs from all over the country, and they walk around. It's like, this is beautiful. Indy's so nice. I'm like, the people are nice. The city's beautiful. So, do that during the day. Check out the canal. There's so much you can see. And then night, I just recommend restaurants. Push them more towards the the local restaurants, like I mentioned, Prime and Bodie, and even Tony's. I was just there, places like that, walking distance, from us, and then come see us. So hit the casual bars first, and then get to Envy by 10:30.
Yeah,
so
it'll be a great night.
Yep.
Yeah, Indy's pretty dope. What do you think can help the culture? Like, how do we bring different cultures together? Like, I think Envy does a great job of allowing different people to mix and mingle. But there is an aspect of different cultures sticking with their own and going to different things. How do you promote to where you can bring different cultures together?
It's a good question. I mean, one thing that's been on my mind would be, like maybe more live music. at
Okay.
least in my neighborhood.
Mm-hmm.
So there's not a whole lot of live music there.
Yeah.
I think that would be interesting just see, because it's easy to mix it up then
Yeah.
and just do different genres and different cultures. And I think that would be neat to see a live music venue in the area. I think that could bring a lot of people together.
I like when you guys have like specific cultural things, like when you have like you do the ritmo. So that's like a Latin night, right?
Right.
But people like myself like to go and experience that. So it's like when you bring that certain culture in, so we can see what they do, and then we enjoy it, and then we're waiting for the next remote event.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
So I think that when you showcase things like that, also with the live, man, you can bring so many people together, and it makes it a dope experience.
Yep. We've talked about doing other ones. Yeah.
Yeah. I had somebody that said that they need to just have a completely Latin club.
Absolutely.
Like a club that is just Latin all the time.
I've heard it many times.
I don't know what Ramble's waiting for.
Waiting on me
Yeah,
to call him.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I don't have much to ask, and I do want to ask you a question that has nothing to do with the podcast, and I ask everybody a really weird question. But before we do that, I want you to shout out your social medias that you want people to follow you guys on, and how people can get in touch if they want to like get a table or something at Envy or
Absolutely.
Tiki's or the Pavilion, whatever.
Absolutely. Envy's really easy just because of our platform. So it's envynightclub.com, and you can take a virtual tour, see every table. You can pick your table.
Nice.
So if you want it really crazy, get one right on the dance floor. You know, you want to step back a little bit, right on the balcony's nice. You can oversee everything.
Yep.
So, just envynightclub.com there. And Tiki Bob's, we do it by phone. So the phone number's listed. That's tikibobsindy.com. And same with the Pavilion.
Okay.
It's indypavilion.com. And
so how does one go about getting an event done at the Pavilion? I mean, I do have events, and the Pavilion is a nice spot.
Thank you. It's not that hard. So when you reach out, Sabronica is going to be the one that you connect with, and we're just talking through the event, and just finding out what your needs are and seeing what we can do to help. I mean, it's reasonable, but it's a big room, so there's some expenses, but it's rental fees, and if it's a concert, we have some box office staff we have to staff for, and security, things like that. But if it's like a corporate gala, it's what's the build out, what tables, chairs, linens, we go through it all.
Okay.
Walk the customer through everything.
Okay. So are you ready for the question?
Yes, sir.
All right. So this question is sports related, and it would be, if you could own any professional sports team, which one would it be and why? And how would you be different as the owner?
Wow, that is a great question. I'm not a huge sports guy.
Oh, really?
No. I mean, I
well,
am.
Even better.
I mean, I'm a fan of obviously the Colts and the Pacers, but I'm not just in fantasy football every day.
Right.
Yeah, I watch it, but I'm just I'm not into it. But I was a soccer player my whole life growing up.
Okay.
That would be a lot of fun.
Yep.
I do enjoy going to Indy 11 games. That would be cool. But I mean, if you're going to own something, you just want to own an NFL team, I would imagine most people would say. So I'll take the Colts.
Take the Colts. Take the Colts, and you'll be a player's owner. Like, would you?
Oh, I'll be on the field.
You'll be right
It'd be
there.
me and Tawny right there on the field. She'd have high heels on.
That's what's up, man. Jason, thanks a lot for coming
Thank
out.
you.
Great
Thank you.
conversation. I'm sure that people
Appreciate
are
it.
really interested in getting to know more about you, and I really appreciate the love that you give when I'm out and all that. Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I want to thank Jim Norman and the Sit With Me app for all their help this season. And please go to followdmoney.com to check out episodes, buy merch, all that good stuff. See you guys next week. Boom.